Dear colleagues, this is a cataract with small pupil. 2.8 millimeter incision has been placed at 11 o'clock. One paracentesis incision is made at around 1:30 o'clock. Now one air bubble is injected into the antechamber. Now I'm going to stain the capsule with trypan blue dye, and I inject adrenaline also. Here it goes. This is the adrenaline, to see if the pupil dilates. But in this case, the pupil didn't dilate with adrenaline, and I didn't want to use any pupil dilating device in this case. This is a pseudo capsule. It has come off. Pupil has dilated probably a little bit with adrenaline. This will facilitate rhexis. This is another side port at around 8 o'clock. And now I'm going to do capsulorhexis. The capsule is incised, and now I want to utilize my sixth sense to make a larger capsulotomy, larger than the size of the pupil. Here it is. I go beyond the pupillary margin and I gently pull. Here I came at the pupillary margin. Again I go beyond the pupillary margin and make the rhexis larger than the size of the pupil. This is our sixth sense. This can be done by experience. Now here it goes. I use this instrument to see whether the rhexis has gone too peripherally. No, it is there. So an optimum sized capsulorhexis has been made. Visco is again injected into the antechamber, and now I want to manage the nucleus. Let us see how it goes. Hydrodissection is done, and as I do hydrodissection, I touch the pupillary margin and the pupil becomes smaller. I could do hydrodissection and the nucleus was mobilized and the nucleus rotated nicely. Now the tip of the phaco handpiece is introduced, and I wanted to do vertical chop in this case. I impel the tip into the nucleus and I try to chop it, but I could not. I failed. So pupil is small and I could not chop the nucleus. More challenge. I try at another place. I hold the nucleus and I could chop it partially, but I am not happy. Rotate the nucleus, hold at another place. I should have decreased the vacuum and flow rate probably at this time, but I didn't bother. I am trying to hold the nucleus again at another place, and here it goes. I could make a chop, a full thickness chop here. So I rotate it, go to the larger piece, and here I do some sculpting, and then I hold it. This nucleus, if it was a little bit harder, it would have been easier. Anyway, I don't give up. I try to hold it in another place. Here it is. I could bring the nuclear piece in the center, and I could emulsify this part of the nucleus. Here is another part. I could bring it to the center of the pupillary area, and I could emulsify it. And here is another part of the nucleus, which is subincisional. I come out, I inject some viscoelastic substance. This is HPMC 2%, and I rotate the nuclear fragment and rotate it so that it comes to 5 o'clock. Inject visco again, and now I go into the antechamber again, and here it is. I hold this piece, bring it to the center of the pupillary area, and emulsify this. The air bubbles are removed, and I work on this nuclear fragment. So the nucleus has been managed. Now this is the epinucleus. The epinucleus is also managed. I was trying to see if this thin sheet of epinucleus also comes out or not. Didn't come, so I come out. Now again we have to use our sixth sense to remove this cortical matter. We can't see the cortical matter, but we have to remove it. So here it is. We go beyond the pupillary margin and bring it to the center, suck it out. By this time the cortical matter from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock has been removed. Now I go through the side port on the left side of the main incision and remove the cortical matter, which is there at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Now I go through the side port at around 8 o'clock and remove the cortical matter, which is subincisional, 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. That's it. The cortical matter has been nicely removed. I have to check it whether I remove it nicely or not. So what I do is I inject viscoelastic substance. I take an instrument which is Y-shaped. This is the instrument, and I can check that the cortical matter has been nicely cleaned all around. Now I give visco again, inject visco again into the antechamber, and I implant an intraocular lens in the capsular bag. The leading haptic goes into the capsular bag. I guide the haptic with the chopper. With the chopper I guide the leading haptic into the capsular bag, and the trailing haptic is dialed by a Sinskey hook and it is placed inside the capsular bag. Now I have to check it whether it has gone into the capsular bag or not. Again I inject viscoelastic substance and I take the same instrument, Y-shaped instrument. I can hook the pupillary margin and check that the lens has gone inside the capsular bag all around. That's it. Now what I have to do? I have to remove this viscoelastic substance nicely. So I take BSS in a 10 cc syringe, and with the help of this Simcoe cannula I flush the viscoelastic substance out from the antechamber. I go behind the IOL, and in the capsular bag the space between the lens and the posterior capsule is irrigated, and most of the viscoelastic substance is removed. I take the bimanual IA also, and I thoroughly irrigate the antechamber, the angles behind the posterior chamber, and then I go into the capsular bag behind the IOL and irrigate this area nicely so that most of the viscoelastic substance come out. That's it. Now the side ports are hydrated and a final wash is done. This is the view under high magnification. Now I hydrate the side ports, and that's it. From the antechamber, the case gets over. Thank you very much for watching.